On April 30th, 2024, Mars is going to enter the fire sign of Aries, and it's going to stay here until June 9th, 2024. Mars is now in its home sign, making it very strong. It's very comfortable here. It's about wanting to get things done, initiating things. Mars is about being spontaneous, it's forward moving, it's courageous. It wants to move forward with this competitive spirit. Think about a sprinter in a race. It's the gun goes off, the sprinter takes off. This is you taking off, seeing the goal, wanting to get some things done and do it now, winning the race, wanting to take that initiative to make some things happen in your life fast. While Mars is in Aries, you may tend to be impatient with others, impulsive with your actions and your words, short-tempered, and sometimes possibly self-centered because you're thinking about yourself and what's holding you back. You will want to be direct, and you're going to want to move forward with confidence. This transit is going to offer you the feeling about being courageous, being strong, and going after what you are passionate about to move confidently and pursue all of your desires. Hi, I'm Patricia Tate, and this is your Mars in Aries 2024 transit forecast. To get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. Now let's dive in. So for Aries Sun and Aries Rising, this is important because it is now in your first house of self. This is your chart ruler. So we know that this has everything to do with your identity, how people see you. I always say it's like your website or your business card. It is you being seen in the outside world, and it's your strength, it's your habits, it's everything about how you want to pursue things and your self-expression, your happiness. That being said, we know that this has to do with you going after and initiating things in order for you to bring pleasure and joy to yourself. The first house is about what makes me happy, my self-expression, my power, things that I want to do. Now, Mars rules over a couple of signs in your chart, your first house of self, and I'm going to bring in your eighth house of shared resources with other people. So we know that this has to do with your contacts with other people where you have investments. So this could be family, business, significant other. This is the house of deep psychological transformation. Now, the eclipses have really brought an attention to your first house of self, bringing in the fact that you're supposed to be having these healthy boundaries with you and other people. Now, there's a few aspects that I want to bring in, and the first is which it's going to be May 3rd. So on May 3rd, we're going to have the first where Mars is now going to be in a sextile to Pluto. So we have, again, Mars is still in your first house of self, but it's in this harmonious aspect. A sextile is where two planets are talking to each other and they want to help each other work things out. So we have Pluto, the planet of death and transformation and rebirth, in your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals, and the people that you network in order to get there. This can be business networks, or this can be teams, or your social circles, these groups that you intentionally join or that you are part of for work. Now, Pluto is saying, all right, I want you to select carefully who you hang around with and who you connect with in order to cause this transformation and go after what you want. Mars is about initiating things that have to do with you, first house of self, and connecting with other people supporting you, or you saying, I need to be aligned better with groups and networks in my life. As we move forward to May 19th. So on May 19th, we're looking at Mars is now in conjunction with the North Node. Mars, this fiery, this passion, this desire to go after. The North Node is the direction in which you are supposed to be moving towards, the unknown. The South Node is what we're leaving behind. And so we have this South Node conjunction with the Moon in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, contracts, negotiations. We know that there's going to be something that's going to be released, and we this could be with contracts. The 7th house is your +1, so business contracts, clients, one-on-one relationships. We know that there's going to be something that needs to be released. where you are in some type of a contract, and this could be written or non-written, in order for you to be focusing in on your needs, your strength, your habits, your outlook, you being seen, your interests, your image, your identity. The North Node is the unknown. I have to move towards this for me. All right, then the next thing that we have is on May 29th. So on May 29th, we are looking at Mars in a conjunction with Chiron. So we have Mars going through your first house, changing everything about you, like going after things that have to do with like your mind, your body, your spirit, but like literally it's you. Now, Chiron is going to be a time where you are now going to address where you have been wounded. Chiron, they consider to be the wounded healer, and it's not like to go back and look at your wound, but it's to say, how have I healed from this? How do I gain power from this? How do I gain strength from this? How do I move forward knowing this? How do I transform? The gift of Chiron is the opportunity to look at our pain and look within and say, this is where I can move on. And so now you're at this point where you can initiate and move past the fear of where you have felt wronged or wounded at various times in your life. Because remember, Mercury was going past Chiron when it was retrograde, digging up major things from your past that have to do with identity wounds. And so this is an opportunity to say, no, we're now past this. I see where it's coming from, and I'm ready to move forward with what I'm passionate about. I'm ready to be confident. Mars energy is spontaneous. It's competitive. It's about being energized and saying, I'm ready to do this. Let's make it fast. All right, so Aries, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com, and to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, Mars is now moving into your 12th house. The 12th house for you represents everything that would be like in the basement, everything that's hidden, everything that's within you. It's the house of isolation. It's the house of dreams. It's the house of affliction. It's where we go for meditation or spiritual retreats, or to connect to our spirit, our divine, our higher power, connecting to astral travel, astral projection, the dream realm through the Akashic records. This is you connecting to spirit guides, ancestors, anything that when you close your eyes, you have a connection to. The 12th house is the house of isolation, where we go to do the inner healing, the deep journeys that we go within, whether we choose to go there or whether it's the house of isolation where we have been pushed to go there. Remember that the 12th house is being activated by the eclipses, saying, I need to not be afraid of this. The 12th house is about self-sabotage, and it's about hidden enemies. And so this is liberating and freeing yourself from either karmic things from your past or generational trauma from this lifetime. And you saying, I got this. I have to be the one to release all of this energy. I can move forward and do this. So Mars is like this competitive spirit, like ready to dive in, ready to make this happen. Mars rules over also your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, significant others. It's the 1+1 house. So it's not only business partners, but it's also clients. It's where we find love, and it's where we have these contracts and negotiations. So we know that there's something going on that will include these topics into what is going on with you and wanting to initiate some things, either that you are offering others. Maybe this is a skill set that you are offering others, or this is you seeking out support from others to say, okay, I need to go to a spiritual retreat, or I need someone to lead the discussion into meditation, or help me to tap into the Akashic records. Or you are the one who are studying those topics and possibly offering those as services or connections for others. Now, as we move through the month, I want to bring your attention to May 3rd. So on May 3rd, we have the first conjunction that is worth noting, where Mars is in this beautiful sextile to Pluto. Pluto is the planet of birth, death, and rebirth, deep transformation, and psychological, like dig deep, and then a rebirth of. It's in the sign of Aquarius, which is unique and think outside the box, and it includes other people. And this is in your 10th house. So we know that there's something that you're initiating in your 10th house of your career, your ambitions, your goals, your public life, you being seen either as an authority figure or from authority figures. The 10th house is what you want to achieve as a professional, or it's like literally your personal ambition or to be seen. It's like the top of your chart. And so a sextile is a harmonious aspect where the two planets are working together to bring the light of transformation and change. Mars works really well with Pluto because Pluto says this is where you have to dig here, dig deep. And Mars is like, yep, I got the energy. I'm going to do it. You tell me what to do. I'm willing to make that change. I'm willing to do this. And this involves the deep journeys, the transcendence that comes from the deep journeys, the inner healing. And this is not only inner healing that you are going through, but this is possibly inner healing that you can share your story with others, or others will help and support you to bring this to light, because it's about what you are transforming and going through. All right, then the next date I want to bring your attention to is May 19th. So on May 19th, we now have Mars in a conjunction with the node, the North Node. So if you look at Mars now saying, okay, I've started this journey, I'm firing, I'm pushing through with this. The North Node is the direction in which we are supposed to be moving towards, and the South Node is what we are releasing. The South Node is conjunct the Moon. My feelings, my intuition, I need to let some of these fears go. The 12th house is the house of self-sabotage. It's the house where we fear the unknown. We have to deal with all the stuff that we keep in the basement. So it's like cleaning out the basement and saying, I'm ready to get rid of all of this. And the Moon conjunct the South Node, that's where we're comfortable. It's in the house of your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, and always retreating back there. And the North Node is saying, no, take the reins, move forward with this, clear yourself of this karma, clear yourself of everything that has to do, follow your intuition, pay attention to your dreams, follow that gut instinct that's within you, move towards the spiritual realm of connecting your mind, your body, your spirit, of like, what is your body trying to tell you, paying attention to those signals. All right, then I want to move it forward to May 29th. So on May 29th, we have Mars in Aries is now going to be conjunct. Mars in Aries is now conjunct Chiron. So Chiron is considered to be the wounded healer. It's more than just our wound. It's how do we look at our wound? What are the benefits that we gain from this? It's the lessons that are learned from this. It's not sitting there and saying, oh, woe is me. I've been wounded and I feel this way and take pity upon me. No, Chiron was the centaur who continued on and supported others through their growth, through the pain that he went through. And so you have been identifying all of these deep secrets, these deep wounds, as Mercury was retrograde in in April. And so as it was like revealing these secrets, these areas of your life that had to do with you and your afflictions, the opportunity that came from the third sweep when Mercury was going direct was, how do I look at the gift that this offers me? How do I look at what I've gained, like the new path that I'm on, or the people that I've met? Like every time you have something happen to you, you have to look at, what is the positive that has come from this? And so now that we have Mars conjunct your wound, this is now saying, I'm now ready to move forward. I'm ready to release, let go, heal with a sprinter's mentality of this is it. Being impulsive, getting things done. This is spontaneous, fast forward, wanting to move forward, having this like, I can do this. I can connect here, whether it be studying things that have to do with metaphysical, studying things in the dark, or saying that I want to understand why are there these things that have gone on with me, and how do I look at this gift and support others with it and move on past this, like literally cut the cords of the karma that is the tie that binds. All right, so Taurus, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, Mars has now entered into your 11th house. So Mars being this initiatory, fired up, passionate desire, going after things, now in your 11th house of these are my hopes, my wishes, my dreams, my goals, the people that I'm going to network with. These are networking with business or networking for pleasure. The 11th house represents where we connect with our peers, our friends, people that we share beliefs with. And so you, initiatory, going after these things. Remember that the North Node is here and it's been activated by the eclipses, saying you have to be focused on really where do you want to go in life? What do you want to do? And who do you connect up with in order to make these things happen? Now, Mars also rules over your sixth house of your balance between home and work, your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being, and people that you go to in order to gain support, like a mentor or a guide. And I'm looking at this as you are looking for people that you can connect with on a daily basis that fill your mind, body, spirit up with health and wellness and feeling good. So let's talk about the first transit. So on May 3rd, we now have Mars in Aries, and it is in this harmonious aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto is the planet of death and transformation, and it really says this is an area of your life that you need to transform. And this is your ninth house of travel and cross-cultural experiences and taking classes and workshops. And it's about teaching things and legal things and publishing things in the sign of Aquarius. How do I connect up with others on a broad scale about my thoughts, my ideas, my beliefs? And so these two are working together, bringing you this competitive spirit to say, I'm ready to move fast forward. Pluto is saying, this is how I'm going to support you with this. And I want you to make the changes that are necessary. And Mars works really well with Pluto. Pluto says, this is the goal. And Mars says, I'm your warrior. I'll make it happen. So look for the synchronicities of people, places, and things coming in that you're probably going to want to cut and remove or move past in order to transform who you are. All right, so the next transit is on May 19th that I want to draw your attention to. So on May 19th, we have Mars is now going to be conjunct the North Node. So Mars, fired up, connected with the North Node, the direction in which I'm supposed to be going, but it's the unknown. Remember, it's been activated by the eclipses, and so we've had people, places, and things leaving our life and being brought into our life. The South Node is conjunct on the same day, meaning it's connected. It's using the moon's energy of releasing feelings, intuition, emotions that are trapped and holding us back with fifth house themes of children, creativity, love, where I want to take a risk. And so it's leaving behind those risks. Mars wants to really cut through, move forward, sprint in the direction of which you're supposed to be going. So now you're going to be taking a look at what has the universe brought in for you and saying, this group I no longer resonate with. I'm going to cut away from that, and I'm going to initiate getting involved into this. The 11th house representing people that share your beliefs, but it's also teams and social circles and groups, and you taking a good hard look at what you have been part of and saying, I need to go through my Facebook groups. I need to go through my YouTube groups. I need to go through like people, places, and things that I follow and that I'm part of. And I need to cut the dead weight in order for me to move forward with fresh and new and like where I want to go. The belief system of I can do this and I want to do it with you. I want to, like, we're on the same path. Let's support each other. Let's make a think tank out of this. All right. Then on the next date is May 29th. So on May 29th, we're going to have Mars in this conjunction again to Chiron. Now, if you remember back in April, Mercury was stationed retrograde in the same house, bringing attention to you weeding out people, places, and things like these groups, and then you going back over saying, I have to finish these goals. I have to do these things. And then as it was coming into contact with Chiron, it was unveiling and offering this opportunity to heal from past wounds. Chiron is not just the wounded healer as in woe is me. Chiron is where we work through something and then we have to be able to stand back and look at the opportunities that come because of that difficult situation. We look at it as this happened to me and I never would have met you and I never would have gone down this path. And how does this bring us together? So you connecting with others that share some of the same beliefs, you like falling into contact with other people who share the same beliefs and networking with them in order to move forward with your goals. Because we know that the North Node is going to be dipping into your career. So we know that you're going to be using this as a job, as a career, or to be seen as an authority figure as we move forward. All right, so Gemini, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. So for Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising, Mars is now moving into your 10th house of your career, your legacy, you being seen in the outside world, being seen as an authority figure. It's your reputation. It is the 10th house is your public life, other people seeing it. It's your ambitions. It's where you want to make your mark on society and things that you want to achieve. Now, Mars says, let's go after this. Let's initiate this. And it also says, I need to cut away this. This is like dead weight. I don't need this. Let's move forward with this. So Mars in Aries here is really offering you this energy to be spontaneous, to move forward, to be courageous, to make those difficult decisions. I would encourage you to like stop and pause on some of these decisions, especially if it means cutting away things that that you are extremely passionate about, that there might have a consequence about, because this could be you as an authority figure, and like stop, pause, breathe before you make some of these decisions that could be longer lasting, that include other people. I'm not saying not do it. I'm just saying don't be as impulsive about it. All right, so Mars also rolls over your 5th house. So we know that there are going to be implications that have to do with your children or your creativity. The 5th house is where we seek out pleasure and enjoyment and where we're willing to take risks, like art and music and joy. And like it's literally the house of risks and joy and pleasure and affairs and bringing self-joy. All right, so knowing this, let's take a look at the first transit. On May 3rd, we have Mars now moving forward just a smidgen, but now it's in this harmonious aspect to Pluto. It's in a sextile. Sextiles mean that the two planets are going to talk to each other and work with each other. Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth, and transformation in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is like the hive mind. Let's all support each other, but I want to be independent. And it's sharing the information, sharing the knowledge, but remaining separate with all of it. In your 8th house of shared resources and where you have these joint ventures with others. The 8th house represents like your investments, and it represents where we have these commitments with our business partners, like money and resources tied up, or significant others, or with exes if there's alimony and child support. And it also can be family if you include like deep psychological things that we have connected together. These unwritten promises or unwritten things that it's the house of taboo topics. And so it's where we don't talk about these things, but we know that we are connected. Now, the positive that comes from this is Pluto is saying, in order to transform, this is what you have to do. You have to boldly go here and you have to cut away here. And so Mars in Aries at the top of your chart is saying, I see it. There's the goal. I can do it. I can make this happen. Mars in Aries is this opportunity to say, I'm going to be the soldier, and Pluto is saying, being the director of this is what you have to do in order to get where you want to go. You are trying to do too many things, so let's cut away some things so you can do better at less. It's when you have too much, you're spread out too thin, and Mars comes in to say, I need to cut away this, I need to cut away this, and then that way I can funnel this and do really good with this. All right, then the next date I want to bring your attention to is May 19th. So on May 19th, we have this conjunction of the North Node conjunct with Mars, meaning it is now going to come together, leading you into the direction of the unknown, bringing into fruition, this is the direction. Now, it's opposing the moon and your South Node. The South Node is where we go when we're very comfortable. It's like, it's our past. And the moon, our feelings and intuition, and I like it's security and feeling very secure at home. And Mars with the North Node says, I need to have some healthy boundaries here. I need to be separate from this. I need to be independent from this. I need to move forward with this. The North Node is your direction. This is with freedom and liberation and being known as who you are, not like separate from the family. For your career, the society of where you are going to be visually seen, where you're going to leave your mark on society. It is your professional reputation. All right. Then as we move to May 29th. So on May 29th, we have Mars in Aries, and it's now going to be conjunct Chiron. So the theme of this is like Mars's story through this house in your life for this transit period. You are now going to tackle topics that have to do with where you have been wounded. Chiron is the wound, but it's not about focusing on the wound and being hurt from the wound. It's what are the lessons that I can gain, and how do I see the blessings in this? I would never have met you had I not gone through this. Or if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I am now. Not looking at a woe is me, but looking at it as a blessing of these are the topics that I can share with you because I have been there and back. This is you sharing parts of your story about your woundedness and your courageousness to come through it as the warrior, because other people are going to want to hear this. They will look at you as the professional person that they can come to and say, oh, they're not just talking it, they're talking it and walking it because they've lived it. And so this is going to be an opportunity for you to say, I'm ready to tackle this head on. This makes me very strong, and I'm not a survivor. I'm a thriver that's going to come from all of this. All right, so Cancer, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Leo Sun and Leo Rising, you now have Mars making his journey through your 9th house. The 9th house represents publishing and journaling and taking classes and taking workshops. It's about legal matters. And so Mars is not just fire and passion and drive and initiating, but Mars is also giving you the opportunity to say, I want to do this, and I will cut away this. I will remove this. Mars in Aries is very comfortable with finding the goal and making it happen. It's very competitive in spirit. So Mars also is co-ruler of Scorpio, your 4th house of home, family, roots, foundation, people that feel like family, your real estate. The 4th house is your foundation. So you are doing something that will include topics around your foundation and what you want to do with foreign people, places, and things, these cross-cultural experiences. You going out there and saying, I want to publish this. I want to take this class. I want to teach this class. I want to be part of this. I want to have these experiences, and I'm ready to finish some of these things. Mars wants to like, let's make this happen. Let's go after it. Let's make the plan. All right, so as the story unfolds, the first date I want to bring to your attention is May 3rd. So on May 3rd, we now have Mars in Aries still in this house. So it's still going to be going through these same topics, but now it's in a harmonious aspect to Pluto. It's in a sextile. That means the two planets are now talking together. Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth, and transformation. In your 7th house of partnerships, clients, one-on-one relationships. It's also open enemies and exes. So as long as this can be used in a positive way, I'm throwing this out there. Aquarius is the bigger picture, the hive mind. It's where I want to be part of, but I also need to be reserved as myself. It's science and technology. And so we're adding this theme together to say, Pluto is saying, this is what you have to cut away. These are the people that you have to cut away. This is where you have to sprint. This is the mountain. This is what you want to go after. Pluto gives you the picture of everything that's in the basement that you need to clear out and clutter. And Mars being it's fast moving, it's courageous. It says, I'm willing to go there. I want to take that class. I want to understand that. I want to dive into religion or spirituality. Do you want to do this with me? Or it's partnership. It's love. It's the 7th house is also about contracts. And so are you going to be using this for negotiation, connections, like these experiences that you're having with others, these contacts that you're having with others? Remember, they're cross-cultural. It's farther away. And so you using your gifts and your talents to move forward to complete these tasks. So the next date is May 19th that I want to draw your attention to. On May 19th, we're going to have Mars conjunct the North Node. Now, we're taking the same theme, the same story, and now we're going after unknown territory. The nodes were activated by the eclipses, so we know that this is a big area of your life that's growing and expanding with unknown territory of people, places, and things that you're supposed to be connected to. Taking classes, taking workshops. It literally is opening your eyes to all of these new experiences. What you're leaving behind is the South Node, and it's conjunct the Moon. So releasing your fears, and this has to do with family, with communication, with relationship with your neighbors and siblings, and close connections that you have. And this could be cutting, severing, or this could be limiting, Remember, healthy boundaries. And so you saying, I'm going to get this done. Where is this holding me back? And the goal is for you to feel confident, energized, move forward, and limit the access of the people that do not support you, and get rid of, I'm calling it like dead weight. If you have too many balls in the air, you're going to drop some. So you have to say, I can only take this class and this class. I can only handle doing so many things at one time. I want to publish this. I want to take this class. I want to travel here. You're going to have to limit or schedule out some things in your life. Then, as we move forward to May 29th, so on May 29th, you now have Mars conjunct Chiron. So same story, you now going and connecting it to your past and a wound. Chiron is called the wounded healer, but it's not about you being wounded and looking at it and saying, oh, woe is me. It's where have I grown, changed, and evolved and healed to move past this. If we do not have any wounding that happens to us, then it doesn't shift the direction in which we go. We have to be able to look back at our past and say, that hurt a lot. I grew from it. I changed from it. I evolved from that. I would never have met you. I never would have gone here. I never would have done this. I have to be able to look at what is the positive that comes from this. And so that's where you're going to take this. You're going to say, now, am I trying to heal or not trying to heal? Am I trying to understand how some of these people in my life have been wounded and how this created my wound, and like how I have changed and evolved from this? And I want to take more classes, more workshops. Like I really want to dive into this. I want to understand like the spiritual realm. I want to understand anything that has to do with pain and healing and the gift that comes from it. And does that mean I travel there because I want to meditate, or I want to take that class, or I want to understand this religion or understand this spirituality? All of these topics are available. It's connecting you to foreign people, places, and things that share some of these experiences and that you can learn from some of these experiences. All right, so Leo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, you now have Mars making its trek through your 8th house of your shared resources, the taboo topics, the house of deep psychological connections that we have with others. The 8th house represents where you have your money invested, or who you are invested with. This could be with time, money, your resources. So this can be significant partners. This can be business partners. This can be exes because we have children with them, or exes because we have shared resources, or alimony, debt, anything that you have connected with others. This can also be family members if you have other connections that are deep and psychological in nature that everybody is working through. So Mars also rules over, like co-ruler of Scorpio, your 3rd house of communication, technology, travel, siblings, cousins, neighbors. And so we know that some of these topics of how you communicate, who you communicate with, the 3rd house is how you openly talk, exchange, gather information, and share the information with others that are closer to you within your home. So we know that the story of where you're going to cut away, where you're going to initiate, where you're going to move forward with this competitive spirit of, I want to do this. I feel confident. I'm going to be impulsive. I want to try this. I want to initiate this. It's going to be about that in this area of your life. Then as we move forward with the story, I want to move you to May 3rd. So on May 3rd, we're now going to have Mars still here, barely moving, but now it's in this sextile, which is like this harmonious aspect to the planet of Pluto, meaning it's working with Mars. So Pluto is the planet of death and transformation and, like birth, death, rebirth. It says we need to cut things down to the raw bare bones in order to move forward. It's in your 6th house of your everyday daily habits. It's your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being. It's also where we go to get support from others, whether it be like a chiropractor or a counselor or a mentor, a guide of some sort. It's where we can go do the shamanic work. It's somebody who supports us on the path that we are on. And it's our daily habits of how do I take care of myself, my mind, my body, my spirit. And so this planet is now saying to Mars, you have to do this, you have to move forward with this, and you have to make it a daily habit. You have to transform your mind, your body, your spirit. This is going to help you. The things that you are doing now, here is the mountain, here is the goal. Like Pluto often represents like the basement, like clear it all out. And Mars says, I can do it. I'm ready to get rid of all of this. I'm ready to weed through all of this and say, this is what I want and this is where I'm going to move forward. Mars has this fired up energy to manifest and make things happen. It cuts away what it doesn't need and it moves forward and makes the connections with the things that it needs to connect up with. And so Pluto is saying, here's the goal. Let's make these things happen. Then as we move forward to May 19th, on May 19th, we're now going to have a conjunction of Mars conjunct the true node or the north node. Okay, so Mars, you're still taking the same theme. The north node, the nodes are activated by the eclipses. And so the north node is the unknown territory where we need to move towards, but we can be uncomfortable. We have not been there yet. And so the north node has been like drawing your attention of, look, I need to get a handle on my finances. The south node is what it opposes, and the moon is here. The south node is, I need to release the connection here between my finances, my resources of who and what that I have connected with others. And so this could be releasing some contracts that you have with other people, joint ventures that you have with other people, cutting through and saying, this is what needs to go. Or it can be initiating and saying, this is what I need to do. This is where we need to invest our money, invest our resources. These are the connections that I need to make. Remember that the 8th house is not just debts and obligations, but it's about other people's money, values, opinions, and initiating the direction of, are we aligned with what we want to do together? And being crystal clear with that and saying, I desire this deep connection with these ventures, and how do I go about doing that? And what do I need to get rid of? What debts do I need to pay off? Who do I need to be released from or my connections with in order to move forward for my best and highest good? I want you to take the same story and we're going to move it forward to May 29th. So on May 29th, you're now going to be looking at Mars conjunct Chiron. Now, we had Mercury go across Chiron, which was like revealing a lot of our pain, our wound, our things from our past, where we had to take a look at it and say, it's time to heal from this. It's time to move on from this. And what is the gift from this? Chiron is not where we look at it and say, woe is me, I am wounded, this happened. It's where we look at it and say, this happened. And now I have enough time and space to say, if this hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have gone down this path. This wouldn't have brought me to this place. This is the gift that comes from it. Mars is now going to say, all right, I need to get rid of this. Let's say that the wound has to do with family members, because we're talking about deep psychological, or with a significant other, like a partner that like is an ex-partner. There need to be some healthy boundaries, some things removed from this in order for you to move forward clean and clear. This is an opportunity to say, I am going to be fast moving, take the initiative and say, this is where I've grown and this is where I'm going to move forward with this opportunity. Chiron is not just the pain. It's not about it's not just about that energy. It's about thriving from this and growing, evolving, and changing from this, transforming like the snake. The snake sheds its skin, and this will be an opportunity to say, I need to shed my skin and evolve and change and grow into who I am because of this. And it's only a part of your story, and it's moving on and being confident and energized with the continuation of your life story. So for Virgo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, you now have Mars making his journey through your 7th house of partnership. The 7th house represents you plus somebody else. This can be you with a business partner, a significant other, clients, one-on-one relationships. It's where we sign contracts with other people. It's where we find love. It's where we negotiate, where we have cooperation. It also represents open enemies and exes. I'm going to throw that out there because this could be cutting, removing, and moving forward with. Aries is this fire energy that wants to initiate, to leap forward, it's a trailblazer, and it's moving forward in this area of your life, and you deciding, what do I want to initiate with contracts and negotiations? Who is supporting me? What needs to go? Like people, places, and things will be cut and removed from your life. Contracts, nope, doesn't serve me in my best interest, going to cut that. Or cut out portions of it. It doesn't mean like you're gonna like throw the baby out with the bathwater. It means like going through it and then cutting certain wording out of some things. It's about being courageous and saying, I have to speak up for myself. Mars also is the co-ruler of Scorpio. So we know that this has to do with second house themes of your cash, your property, your self-worth, things that you need in order to make you feel safe and secure in order to move forward. And so we know that the topics of this Mars journey is going to include all of these themes. So the first date I want to look at is May 3rd. So on May 3rd, we're going to have Mars still in your 7th house, sitting here and slowly moving through, now in a sextile, which is this harmonious aspect to the planet of Pluto. Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth. It's transformation. It's like what is planted deep in the soil can now grow, change, and evolve. But you have to like weed out, like you have to get out all the weeds. And so it's in your 5th house. The 5th house represents where you take risks. It's love with art, music, creativity. It's where we give birth to things. So this could be children or creative projects. It's also the house of like love affairs and joy and romance and our hobbies and where we want to take risks. And so Pluto is saying, we need to transform these two areas of your life. And I'm going to show you what you need to shed. And Mars is very happy. Like you show Mars a task, and Mars is the first one to say, I need to get down there and I'm going to get rid of it now. Gone. Make it happen. And so Pluto is saying, these are some topics. These are some themes of you need to make it happen. Like you need to take the initiative and get it done now. And so it's you moving forward, having this competitive spirit and saying, all right, I'm going to cut this away. I'm going to move forward with this. I feel strong and I'm going to get some things done. As we move forward in the month, I want you to look at May 19th. On May 19th, we're going to have Mars now in this harmonious, it's in a conjunction. So think of it as when it's a conjunction, it means the two are merged together to blend the energy. So we have the energy of what you've started and Mars conjoined with the North Node. This is where I'm supposed to be going. The eclipse have activated some things in this chart of yours, your life of partnership and contracts and significant others and friends, and saying, you have to go into the unknown. You have to bravely move forward. It is opposing the South Node that's conjunct the moon. The moon is what I need in order to feel secure. I need some balance. I need health. The South Node is where I go, where I have in the past. And so not going back and saying, I'm going to let you have your way at the expense of me. I am going to initiate some healthy boundaries. I am going to look at either these verbal agreements, nonverbal, like written contracts. This could be with clients. This could be with your business partner, significant other. This could be with exes. This could be with like open enemies, like limiting the amount of access that somebody has to you. And this could also be you saying, I want to move forward. Let's sign this now. Let's make this happen now. It's like sign on the dotted line, move forward. Being very strong, independent, courageous, going after what you want. Then as we move to May 29th. So on May 29th, we have Mars now in a conjunction to Chiron. So if you remember back in April, Mercury was retrograde. It went across our Chiron wound, and then it revealed some things that we hadn't thought of in a while, or some past things, traumas. And then it like went forward again and said, okay, now you have done this rapid healing, and are you looking at the gift that comes from this? Chiron, being the wounded healer, is not about woe is me, I'm wounded in this area. Chiron is about how do we look at the wound that we had, the gift that comes from it, and the transformation of the people, places, and things that evolve from it. If you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't have met this person. You wouldn't have gone down this path. It is acknowledging that without this, there couldn't come a gift or a blessing. And some things may be hard to look at and say, I don't see how I can find a blessing in this. It's digging deep to say, this is the positive. Like, are there other positive things that you have supported others from this wound? Like, and that's your own personal journey. This wound has to do with partnership. This has to do with not only business partners, but significant others and those open enemies and those exes. It's where you have been burned in the past. And now you have to look at it and say, yeah, I learned a lesson. I learned dot, 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 dot. So this is like literally you looking at what did you learn from each of those lessons in order to move forward. And so this could be learning to read through the contract, learning to just not trust someone because they say that they're going to do it, learning that I need to have that prenup, or I need to have that agreement. I need to do that for me in order to progress and move forward for both of us to have security, and for you to move forward and say, I'm going to be direct, I'm going to be confident, and I'm going to look at this and say, moving forward, this is why I have this. And maybe this is putting a clause into a contract. This could have everything to do with this area of your life. All right, so Libra, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, Mars is now going to make its trek through your 6th house. So the 6th house themes for you represent what do you do on a daily basis in order to nurture and care for yourself. It's your daily habits, it's your nutrition, your diet, it's exercise, it's your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, seeking out a counselor or a mentor or a guide. It's finding the balance between home and work. And it's also, it's not just self-care, but it's your relationship to employees or your relationship with your coworkers. It's what do I do on a daily basis, nurturing and caring for myself in order for me to give and share with others. And so Mars here is going to be fast forward, initiatory, saying, no, this is what I have to do. This is where I'm getting fired up. This is the energy of. The sixth house has been activated by the eclipses, really bringing attention to where you have given too much of yourself and put yourself on the back burner, not made yourself a priority for your health and well-being at the expense of taking care of and nurturing other people. Now, Mars rules over it's co-ruler of your first house of self. So we know that this has to do with topics of your self-expression, you being seen, your public life, your personality, your identity, your mind, your body, your strength, your habits, your image. I always call the first house also your website, your business card of how people see you. And so we're going to blend these in together to move you forward with courage and this competitive spirit of what needs to be cut away, people, places, and things, like what habits need to be removed for your best and highest good, and where do you need to move forward for things that you're passionate about. All right, so as we look at May 3rd, on May 3rd, Mars takes the journey a little further in and is now in a sextile, which is this harmonious aspect of one planet helping the other planet. So Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth, and transformation in your fourth house of home, family, your roots, your foundation. It is your real estate. It's your ancestors. It's your traditions. It's those people that have shaped you that either are family or feel like family. And so we know that there's going to be some kind of transformation going on. And Pluto is saying, look, I know you can do this. You cannot go about doing things the way that you always have. You now have to transform them. And Mars is, you being the warrior, is saying, I can do this. I just need to know what I should be doing. What should I be going after? How should I be caring for myself? Who should I connect up with? What should I cut from, like what bad habits or what connections are not healthy for me? And where should I initiate change? And so Pluto is really going to be offering you this connection to say, here's the goal. And Mars is going to say, I can definitely go after. Like Mars is the warrior. You give it the goal, they go after it. And Pluto says, let's clean out the basement. We can't work with all this clutter. You have to get rid of some of these things. You have to cut and remove some of these things. You have to be the one that initiates the change. And it should be about you and your health, your self-care. And this could also include alternative healthcare options. Now, as we're moving forward, the next date I want to draw your attention to is May 19th. So on May 19th, we now have Mars in a conjunction with the North Node. So Mars, taking the same story, connected now with the North Node. A conjunction is where they take their energy and they say, I'm going to combine it and combine the energy of. The North Node is where you've not been before. It's unknown territory. It is opposing the South Node, and that's conjunct the Moon. And so I need to release these fears. I need to release the self-sabotage. I need to get rid of and cut away these hidden enemies. You know who they are. Anybody that does not support you on your path, that is a hidden enemy. And you either are going to have to draw serious boundaries around it or cut and remove them from your life. If they are not supporting you, they are supporting your breakdown. Like if they're not lifting you up, they're trying to tear you down. And if they're in your life, that's not healthy for you. And so you want to be surrounded with people that are going to support you with your healthcare practices. This includes the people that you work with, like my mental health, my physical health, like to my spiritual health. These practices on a daily basis, and you having healthy boundaries between this. All right, then as we move forward to the 29th, on the 29th, we're now going to say that Mars is now in a conjunction with Chiron. So we're moving forward with the same theme. You are moving forward and connecting up with the wound. Chiron is the wounded healer, but it's not looking at it and saying, oh, I'm wounded, look at what happened to me. No, Mercury went across this and was helping you to resolve some issues all of April. Mercury went across it, dredged up some past, and went back and forth and has now moved forward. And now there's this opportunity for you to say, if I hadn't have gone through that, if I hadn't gone through that pain, I would not be experiencing this. I would not have access to this. I would not know so-and-so. It's looking at it and not saying, I'm just going to be a survivor of. No, you are a thriver of the lessons that you've learned. Earth is our school of where we learn things. You are learning not only healthy boundaries, but you're learning to put yourself first with all of the things that you're going through, of where you're a warrior and where you're a healer and how you can support others with the things that you've gone through. Mars conjunct Chiron is going to give you this bird's eye view to say, I have gone through all of this and I have transformed. Look at who I am, how I can, my mind, my body, my spirit, and I'm evolving and I'm changing and I'm growing. And how can I also share this with other people? And thanking the people that have supported you, the mentors, the guides, the counselors, the practitioners. And what are you going to do with that energy? Are you going to in turn become the person who is the healer, the person who shares your wisdom, your knowledge with others? It's about making things come full circle. So Scorpio, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, Mars is now making his journey through your 5th house of fun, joy, pleasure, the house of creativity, where we either create with children or we create with art and music and beauty, projects, activities. It's the house where we gamble or find love and we take these risks. It's what do you do in order to bring pleasure and joy to you? Mars is very happy here because it's going to want to initiate things, bring forth things, and really making things happen, being courageous and having this competitive spirit. Now, Mars is also the co-ruler of your 12th house of your dreams, your intuition. The 12th house is where we are isolated, and it's the house of self-sabotage. It's the house of hidden enemies, but it's also where we meditate and we go within and tap into our subconscious in order to do the inner healing, and we connect to our divine or our higher spirit or our higher power, whatever you call yours. And so we know that you are going to be initiating some things in your life that the nodes have really brought your attention to because of the eclipses. The eclipses are saying you need to have more fun, joy, and pleasure in your life. You need to initiate it. You need to make it happen. While Mars is here, this could have you saying, I have too many hobbies. I have too many projects. I need to finish them, or I need to cut away some of these things. I literally need to funnel them and say, this is what I want to do, and remove all of these other distractions. It's you saying, I want to get some things done, and I want to be spontaneous. I want to have pleasure and joy. And what is holding me back? What do I need to cut away in order to liberate myself? And is that like freedom from some groups, freedom from some goals that you've set, and it's now like time to finish? All right, so let's look at moving forward to the 3rd. On the 3rd, we have Mars in Aries, now in a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. A sextile is this harmonious aspect where the two planets are talking to each other and one is trying to help the other. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and transformation, and it says, clean this out and this can grow. The third house is communication and short distance travel and technology. The third house is your neighbors and siblings and cousins, and it's how you talk and exchange and gather information and how you disseminate it. And so Pluto is saying, look, here's the goal. This is what you have to do. And Mars, you being the warrior, are saying, this is the goal. I can cut this. I can remove this. I can move forward with this. I can use science or technology. I can use AI to make some things easier for me. I remember that in the sign of Aquarius is like-minded people that are out there. And so maybe this is you connecting up with other groups that are like-minded for you and getting rid of some of the groups or the networks that you belong in or belong to that are no longer like feeling a part of you initiating new in your life. Now, on May 19th, we now have, moving forward, Mars is now going to be conjunct the North Node. Now, Mars and the North Node are now merging together, and the North Node is, here's the direction, it's unknown, you haven't done it, it's all brand new. The eclipses have offered you, they eclipsed people, places, and things out of your life, and these new opportunities for you to move forward. And it's opposing the Moon and the South Node in your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, the networks, and these could be with business or pleasure. It's your connection to peers. At this time, there could be really I'm finishing this goal. I no longer want to be part of this group. This doesn't serve me well anymore. I need to move past it. I feel like I've outgrown it. It doesn't always mean like a complete end, but Mars does cut and remove. And Mars says, I want to focus on this. And that means I can't be part of this group. I need to look for another. I need to look for new dreams, new goals, new hopes, new wishes, new aspirations. Mars with the North Node is saying you have been stagnant with some networks or some groups or these friend circles that you have been in. And now you need to search out joy and pleasure of people who are connected with things that you want to do because you've grown, changed, and evolved. The groups have changed. And so now this is an opportunity to say, I'm going to find new, the unknown North Node. Then as we move forward to the 29th. So on the 29th, we're going to have a conjunction with Chiron. So Mars, same story, moving forward. Chiron is considered to be the wounded healer. And it's not just like, oh, I've been wounded, I hurt here. It gives us an area of our life where we can look at and see where we have grown and where we have changed and evolved. It's not being stuck in the wound. It is identifying an area that says, had I not gone through this, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have experienced this. We know that the themes are still with areas that you're willing to take a risk, children, creativity. And so this is you looking back and saying, places in my life where I've taken a gamble, investments, love, recreation, joy, pleasure. Where have I been wounded? What have I learned from it? And how did I grow, change, and what did it connect me to? For example, maybe you were taking risks and you were younger and used to ride a motorcycle. And then you said, okay, I can't ride motorcycles anymore. I'm going to either ride a scooter or I'm going to do a four-wheeler. And I can't do the four-wheeler anymore and I'm going to do a side-by-side. I can't do the side-by-side anymore, so now I'm going to do the Jeep. It's you changing and evolving as you are growing and meeting up with new groups that fit your needs of adventure and exploration. So Sagittarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, Mars is now journeying through your fourth house of your home, your traditions, your family, what makes you feel good with being grounded. It's your family with the past generations. It's genealogy. It is people that feel like family, the people that have shaped you. It's real estate, property. It is literally like the bottom part of your chart, your life, of what do I need in order to feel safe and secure. Mars going through this part of your chart is saying, I need to make some decisions here. I need to get some things done. I need to like cut away, remove, or I need to take the initiative to get through. I need to race through. I need to be impulsive about things that need to be done. Now, Mars also is the co-ruler of your 11th house of Scorpio, with your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your goals, your networks, the people that you align yourself with. These can be like your team members or your connections to peers, or your people that you share beliefs, like your star family or your social circle. And so these topics are all going to come together with what you are initiating during this transit that has to do with, what does your home look like? What does your real estate look like? What does your personal life and your traditions and your property look like and mean to you? And it's you saying it needs to be stable, it needs to be secure. So as we move forward to May 3rd, on May 3rd, we have a harmonious aspect with Mars in your 4th house, in a harmonious aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth, transformation. It's about things that are buried deep and need to be transformed and cut down to the bare minimum. It's in your 2nd house of your resources, your money, your cash, your property, your values, things that you need in order to feel secure. So we know that you're doing something in order for you to have this secure foundation of your home. You're wanting to understand, like leaving this legacy of what is home, what is my foundation, what are these traditions? I need to get my real estate. I need to get my property. I need to get my ducks in a row here. And Pluto is saying, look, you need to transform this. You need to be the one who initiates this. Pluto gives you the basement and says all of this stuff needs to be cleared out. And Mars goes in and says, get it gone, get it gone, get it gone, get it gone. And then, okay, I can work with this. This is the clean slate of my home. And what am I going to do with it in order to move forward? As you are working on that, I want to bring you to May 19th. So on May 19th, we're now going to have this conjunction with that's been activated by the eclipses. Remember that the eclipses have been really having you focus on your home, making a stable home, and this could have been a move. And it still could be a move, because the North Node is in your 4th house of what does home look like and where is my home, and am I securing my home? Am I moving to a different home? And the South Node is what it's opposing. The South Node conjunct the Moon in your 10th house of in the outside world. So this is you saying, what am I going to leave to others, but how do I create this stable home? The North Node is where we've not been before. This is you going into uncharted territory of the Aries, the warrior. I have to initiate stability. I have to, like, who has access to this? What are you going to do with it? What about your real estate? Who are your family members that are involved in this? And what is really going on with your home? Are you moving a home? Are you downsizing? Are you transforming your home? Are you making it more accessible? Like maybe it's, I need to make it handicap accessible. I need to make it, I need to winterize it. I haven't done anything to it in a very long time, or I need to update it. I need to modernize it. The North Node conjunct with Aries And don't forget, we had this sextile to Pluto. So it has something to do with making you feel secure and your personal resources. There's something that you're going to be doing with this area of your life that you've not done before. It's moving you into this unknown direction of you have to be worried about yourself before you worry about everybody else. Aries is the I, Libra is the we, and you are thinking about, okay, if I leave this to these people, I still need to make this livable for me, or it's leaving the legacy. And this could be you like retiring, leaving a job, leaving something. All right. And then as we move forward to the 29th, on May 29th, we have another conjunction, and this time it is Mars with Chiron. Now, Chiron they considered to be the wounded healer, and it was activated in April. All kinds of wounds that had to do with your home, your identity, feelings of self-worth. Mercury went across it, retrograde, and really brought up these feelings of what do I have to move forward and heal from? Things that have to do with your self-worth, things that have to do with your identity, and legacies that you want to leave behind, or you having this home and making it stable and secure. And maybe it's not having stable and secure when you were younger, but it's building and creating stable, secure, and with your resources here. Now, Chiron. We don't just look at our Chiron and say, oh, woe is me, I have this wound. Chiron grew, changed, and evolved from the wounding. And so you look at your wound and you say, I would not have been where I am had I not gone through that, had I not met that person. I'm looking at this as a gift. This is an opportunity that pushed me into a different direction of my life, that propelled me, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't. So if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be where I am now. And if you're not liking some of the changes, this is an opportunity to look at and say, I can get these things done. I can move forward from this. I can move forward quickly with courage and take this wound and say, I'm not just a survivor of, I'm a thriver of. And this is what I'm going to create from this. This is the gift. This is the opportunity. And as the warrior, this is what made me who I am. And I need to embrace this, because this has made me strong. This has made me confident in what I want to pursue. So Capricorn, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, Mars is now making the trek through your third house of communication, travel, writing, and journaling, and your connection with people that are closer to home. This is siblings and neighbors and cousins, and this could be with the people that you communicate with on a daily basis. So Mars going through this part of your life is going to have you very headstrong, competitive, maybe cutting and removing, but it's like, I'm ready to zip through this area of my life. I'm ready to make some changes. And this could be with science and technology and like email, phone, text, all types of technology. Now, Mars also is a co-ruler of your 10th house of your career, your job, your legacy. So this could be using new ways of communicating or forging forward with, how can I do better? How can I connect in a better way for my job, my career, my legacy? What is the new science or technology like AI? How can I use technology to better with where I want to go and what I want to do? Like, what do I need to cut and remove in order to make things easier for me during this transit? So as I move forward to May 3rd, as we look at May 3rd, we have the first contact of Mars now in a harmonious aspect with Pluto. Mars is still in your third house. It's going to be here for this entire transit, and it's like your technology, your communication. And now it's communicating with Pluto. Pluto is in your first house of yourself, your identity, your vitality, your strength, your image, you being seen. I always look at the first house as your website, your business card. It is literally your outlook and you being seen and your image, and it's your outlook on how can I change, grow, and transform. With Pluto here, Pluto is the planet of birth, death, rebirth, and transformation. So it's literally saying, I need to transform. I need to up my game. Pluto is the planet that, like, think about as a snake. And so as we grow and change and evolve, we have to shed our skin. And so you are giving Mars the area of your life. You're assisting Mars with the area of your life of make these changes. It will make your life easier. This is all with science and technology and communication, short distance travel. And it can be with everything that has to do with education, writing, computers, like all of those topics. Then, as we move forward to May 19th. So on May 19th, we are now going to have Mars now connecting up or in conjunction with the North Node. The North Node has been activated for the last 6 months, the North Node and the South Node, because the South Node is what is opposing and it's conjunct the Moon. So we have your past connected up with your feelings and your intuition and looking at our fears. The South Node is where we've come from, of publishing and journaling and cross-cultural experiences and traveling. And Mars conjunct with the North Node. I have to do this in order to create the change. I have to quit doing things the way that I was, old-fashioned or traditional, and now I have to like break the mold and say, I'm going to embrace technology. I'm going to embrace AI. I'm going to look at what is available that will make technology, make communication, make travel easier for me. Then, as we move forward to May 29th, on May 29th, we now have Mars conjunct Chiron. Now, Chiron is considered to be the wounded healer. It's a wound that we have in our life, but it's more than just the wound. Chiron was somebody who grew, changed, and evolved. He had so many great gifts and talents in that he helped other people with their lives. So this is an opportunity to say the Mercury was retrograde all of April, activating your personal wound of self-worth and identity, and it was also being eclipsed by removing people, places, and things from your life, like computer glitches, neighbors, like things that were in your life that were people, places, and things that were in your life that were close to you, like closer to home and abroad. And so we look at Chiron as this opportunity to say, I brought up some areas of my life that I was hurt, that I had to learn some lessons. And what is the gift that comes from the lesson? And now, how do I take this Aries energy and activate it? If I wouldn't have gone through that, I would not have met so-and-so. If I would not have gone through this difficulty, if my computer had not crashed, I would not have updated my technology. If this would not have happened, I would not have dove into this class or this workshop. If I would not have, and it's whatever it is, X, Y, and Z. If you had not gone through certain things that had to do with you and life being difficult, you would not be changing, growing, and evolving in this area of your life. And so now Mars is saying, let's look at the gift, let's look at these opportunities, and let's expand upon it. And how can we use this for better growth? Let's just not stop here. Let's continue on with this. And how do we share this with other people? Taking your knowledge, your wisdom, and saying, I want to get this done. I want to initiate this, teaching it, sharing it, blogging about it, writing about it. It's about classes and letters and books and education. The third house is where you connect with others in order to talk and share ideas. And so all of this is going to be available to you throughout the month of May. So Aquarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, you now have Mars making its journey through your second house of your personal resources, your cash, your income, your possessions, people, places, and things that you need to surround yourself in order to feel secure. So it's your skill set, it's your talents, it's your income, your financial condition, your movable property. The second house represents all of your finances and resources. So your personal self-worth, your personal security. As Mars is going through this house, remember it was activated by the eclipses, and it's really drawing attention to your resources connected with other people and making sure that you're truly focused on yourself and not always linking up with other people. So Mars also is the co-ruler of your ninth house of cross-cultural experiences that you have with other people, the house of publishing and taking classes and workshops, legal matters, it's travel. And so we know that some of these themes are going to be initiated or be part of this story as Mars goes through your second house. So let's take a look at the first date. The first date I want to draw your attention to is May 3rd. On May 3rd, we now have Mars in a sextile, which is a harmonious aspect where the two planets are talking together and working together, like one is supporting the other. Pluto is the planet of death and transformation and rebirth. It's in your 12th house of self-sabotage, worst fears, isolation. It's the house of where I take the deep journey to connect to my spirit guides, my ancestors, the divine, my higher power. It's where I go for rest and retreat. And it could be spiritual retreats, it could be yoga, it could be meditation. And it's, if I don't take care of myself, it becomes hospitalizations or institutions or the house of affliction. And so this is a harmonious aspect, and Pluto is saying we need to transform. The 12th house is considered like the basement of the house, and you have to clear out the basement in order to, like the snake sheds its skin in order to grow. You need to transform, evolve, and grow. And this is going to give you the opportunity to grow your personal finances, your personal skill set, your resources. Pluto is saying, this is the goal. Get rid of all this. The self-sabotage, like you've done the inner work. The 12th house is also where we go to get away, and we want to escape society. And so this is an opportunity for you to say, I need to be present in the here and now, and I need to take charge of not only my opinions and my talents and my skill set, but my money, my resources. I have to be in charge of this. And Pluto is going to give you the goal and the opportunity to see where you have transformed. And Mars is going to say, okay, I need to cut this away. I need to cut this away. I need to go after this. This is what I'm worth. I'm going to say to my boss that, no, I deserve to have this much for a salary, or it's you taking the initiative to be in control of your personal finances. Then as we move forward to May 19th, so on May 19th, we now have this conjunction with Mars and the North Node. Now, the North Node is the direction in which we are being pushed or moved towards, but it's the unknown. It's where we're uncomfortable because we've not been there. What opposes you is the Moon and the South Node. The Moon is your intuition, your feelings, and the South Node is where we go. We go to feel comfortable because we're unsure about moving forward. It's about feeling safe and secure. And so you having to release your connections that you have with other people, the ties that you have with other people, the investments that you have with other people, releasing yourself and saying, I have to think about myself, my self-worth, my resources. I have to say, where am I investing in? and I first have to invest in me, and then I can worry about everybody else. But the investment needs to be in yourself, your opinions, your talents, your salary, your work ethic, your financial condition. The second house is what you need in order to be secure. So think about it emotionally, or like the people that I surround myself with, or financially. Then the next date I want to draw your attention to is the 29th. So on May 29th, we now have Mars in a conjunction to Chiron. Chiron is called the wounded healer, and it's more than just a wound. I mean, the story is long, but basically Chiron grew, changed, and evolved, and was able to give back in spite of being wounded, changed the trajectory of the path because of the wound, of where he has been through. And so your wound has been activated all through April with Mercury. Mercury went across it, and it was a wound about identity, your money, your self-worth, your security, feeling uncomfortable about people, places, and things. And so it went back and forth over it, and it was an opportunity for you to like look back and heal from it and look at what is the gift from it. And now that Mars is going to be conjunct Chiron, you're going to be able to look at it and say, how do I look at this and say, I can grow from this in this area? Chiron, being the wound, is if you hadn't have gone through what you did, you wouldn't be where you are now, and you wouldn't know who you know now. It is looking at your past and saying, if I hadn't had this relationship experience, I wouldn't know how to handle my finances this way, or what it means to have my finances wrapped up with other people, or to have the feeling of isolation. Mars conjunct your Chiron is offering you this opportunity to say, I'm ready to move forward with looking at the areas of where I have grown, changed, and evolved with the connections from my past, not just like surviving something, but thriving from it and looking at the growth that can come from the evolution of, the transformation of. And this is you taking control of your personal assets, your personal resources, your personal self-worth, and saying, number one, I need healthy boundaries. Number two, I have to take care of me. Nobody else is going to take care of me. And I can look back at my lessons from the past and say, this is where I had a lesson, and let's make sure it doesn't happen in the future. I'm in charge of that, and I can do this with ease and grace. I can grow from this. So Pisces, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.